Hi, my name is Annette. I live in Denver, Colorado, and my full-time job is teaching general music at a K-8 elementary and middle school. I've been a Blue Apron subscriber since around December of 2016. What I really love about the service is that it's able to expand my cooking horizons. You know, I used to make tacos, spaghetti, burgers, that sort of thing. But ever since I've started Blue Apron, I've been able to increase variety in my home cooking using both Blue Apron recipes and my own. So this evening we will be making spiced rub pork with sweet red onions and black beans. So without further ado, let's begin. The first step is to prepare the ingredients. Once you chop off the ends, you're going to cut your onion lengthwise and then cut into 1-inch strips across the grain. This is only the first onion. Our senka onion we're going to do just a little bit differently. So I'll just set these over here. Chop off the ends again. Now I'm gonna just chop this one into small dices. So I went to college in Missouri and I studied music. Now while I was there, one of my roommates wasn't that good of a cook, but she did teach me a useful trick about garlic. So I'm gonna place my garlic down just like this, flat side down, and take my knife and place it right on top. Then with my palm, I'm just going to take and gently press down. And then the peeling comes off quite a bit easier. And I'm gonna do that to one more clove. So after you've prepared all of the ingredients, the next step is to sear the pork. So if you'll see, I have seasoned all sides of my pork with the spice blend provided by Blue Apron and then a bit of salt and pepper. And I've got all sides prepared with that spice blend. All right, so I have put some olive oil in my pan and it's slightly heated up. So I think it's about ready. So I'm just gonna place my pork right into the pan. And then I might turn it a couple times, try to get each side evenly browned. We're not completely cooking it through all the way just yet. So this should take about 3 to 5 minutes. All right, so I have finished searing my pork. I think that I've gotten every side evenly browned. So I'm just gonna pick up my pork and place it on just half of my baking sheet that I have lined with aluminum foil. Next, I've got a bowl where I've put my big slices of onions. I put all of them in here. I'm gonna put just a drizzle of olive oil, a generous portion of salt, and even more pepper. I really like pepper. All right, from there, I'm gonna kind of just coat each portion of the onions equally in my olive oil, salt, and pepper. All right, and place it on the other side of the pan. All right, so my next step is to caramelize my diced onions. So I'm going to take my butter and drop it into a pot. I'm gonna wait until this melts completely. All right, so then once my butter has melted completely, I'm just gonna simply slide my onions right in. And then I'll occasionally stir, and I'll just do this for about 3 to 4 minutes until they've slightly broken down. All right, so I think my onions are about ready for my next step. So if you can kind of see how they're just a little bit broken down, a little bit soft looking and slightly browned. So I'm gonna come back over here, put it back on, add my brown sugar, and 1/2 cup of water, 1/2 cup. Stir that all together. And then I'm just gonna let it simmer for about 11 to 13 minutes. And I'll be stirring occasionally throughout that. So I have moved my caramelizing onions to the back burner, and I'm going to work on cooking the beans. So I've currently got my oil and my fond, the little brown bits from when I cooked my pork. So I've placed that on my burner. I'm gonna heat it up and add my chopped garlic. Now I'm gonna cook this for about 30 seconds to 1 minute until I can smell a nice fragrant smell from the garlic coming up. So I think I can really smell that garlic coming up there. So I'll go ahead and add my black beans straight to the pan. So the timer has gone off on my oven, so it's time to check the onions and the pork. So in the meantime, I added about half the vinegar onto my onions. And these are feeling nice and tender. The fork just goes straight through them. I think it's done. So my beans have cooked about 4 minutes, and I think they're ready for the next step. So I'm gonna go ahead and add half of my remaining vinegar, salt and pepper, honey, and a 1/2 cup of water. And go ahead and stir that up. So I have finished all of the cooking. The only thing left is to plate the dish. So firstly, I'm going to take half of my cilantro and throw it in with my beans. Combine my caramelized onions with those beans as well. Now I don't know if I've put enough salt and pepper, so I'm just gonna take a slight little taste. More pepper. All right, I'm gonna toss this, divide it into 2, and put it onto my plates. From there, I've been resting my pork. So I'm gonna take it and slice against the grain into thin strips. Oh man, that looks really good in there, cooked perfectly. And divide that among my plates. Then over here, grab my caramelized onions, or my roasted onions actually, and place that right on top. Then I'm going to drizzle the entire thing with just a little bit of olive oil. And that is the seared pork with sweet red onions and black beans.